Hello, this is Jimmy Mitchell, and we are back with another episode of Libertarian Uncensored podcast, going over all the posts on the Libertarian Uncensored subreddit. Let's get right into it. First, we have dismantled mail processing machines, another step to USPS privatization from USAtoday.com from Comrade Prodholland, and they added, call your representative to stop this far-right plot to privatize your postal service. As a left libertarian, I believe the government must provide all essential services the market can't provide, like delivering mail. Otherwise, we'll end up like the UK or Germany, who both privatize their postal services. And I think this account's supposed to be satire, but you really can't tell anymore, I would say. So, yeah, I definitely think if there's someone who can do it for private, we should probably have that. Like the postal service should probably be private, and the rail service should probably be private. They should all probably be private, I would say. Then we have how right-wing libertarianism is a poison that's crept into America, Part 1. Now that Robert Kennedy Jr. says, I've always been reliant on libertarians on most issues, let's look at how libertarianism would work out in America and where it's come from in the first place, from Tom Hartman from HartmanReport.com, and that's across from the Majority Report subreddit by Chai20, and I said, RFK Jr., who has always pushed for gun control and endorsed HRC in 2016, what a real libertarian. The thing is, they just think he's libertarian because they just want to find a way to put him in the out group because he disagrees with the official DNC narrative, but that doesn't necessarily make him libertarian, I would say. But yeah, I'll see if he manages to get on the Libertarian Party ticket this year or next year, I guess, for the presidential election. We'll see how that happens. Then we have Reddit will start paying people to post from independent.co.uk across posts from the technology started by Chai20, and I said, tons of shills on this website were probably on the payroll of foreign governments, domestic political operations, DNC/RNC, maybe White House as well, or other large corporations anyway. It only makes sense. Then we have Jesse Waters pushing the myth that Democratic-led cities are a drain onto the federal budget. California alone is a tax revenue generating powerhouse. Republican-led states are more likely to drain budget. I provide receipts. And that's a tweet from Decoding Fox News on Twitter. It's a cross post from the Murdoch Sucks subreddit. And I don't know if funny. I think the thing is, the cities, I think they're increasingly run down, as you see from the recent looting in Philadelphia and how they're all pretty much kind of shitholes right now. So I think that's important to remember. People say, oh, the cities, that's where they generate all the revenue. But the thing is, increasingly businesses are moving out of cities because they're shitholes full of shoplifting and looting. And that's why I think you're going to see it go down as time moves on. The suburbs and the rural areas seem to be most of the economic powerhouse, it seems, these days. Especially, I would say the suburbs probably. But rural areas are the ones that are producing most of the food. So that's important too, I would say. Then we have the Republican Party wants a $4,000 donation from every American for their budget fight. It is mandatory and it all renews for 20 years from Chi-Town 20, and that's cross from the Political Revolution subreddit. And I said, we already have this. It's called taxes. They always say, oh, we want a donation, but they're really forcing you to pay it, so that's not really a donation, that's theft, just like taxes are theft, I would say. Then we have UAW's Fain blasts Trump when asked if he plans to meet with Trump. He says, I see no point because I don't think the man has any bit of care about what our workers stand for, what the working class stands for. He serves a billionaire class, and that's what's wrong with this country. From NBCNews.com by Chai20. And I said, they all serve the billionaire class. Yeah. And Chai20 responded, both sides, you were literally championing for the billionaire class. And the thing is, they support the billionaire. People like him support the billionaire class too, as long as their name is like George Soros. You support. Alright, you support billionaires when the narrative says to, like George Soros. Then we have discuss neither bullets nor ballots from Wendy McElroy, and that's from that's a few paragraphs from what's the OMN 1P07 and I don't know if I'll read all of them, but I think that's a good pretext. We shouldn't be controlling people for force or the vote. I like that voluntarist logic. That society should all interactions should primarily be voluntary. Like if you want to form a collective, you should be able to. But we shouldn't have forced collectives, and that's something I'm really big on, I would say. Then we have Google loses battle to control how DOJ antitrust trial docs are shared online. Google antitrust trial docs can be shared online, judge ruled, from arstechnica.com by Chai2020. And I guess that's good, I'm all for transparency. You could argue that I don't know if the state should be forcing people to be transparent, but I don't know. I guess it could go both ways in this. I think that we should have more transparency in the legal system, but I also do think that the state shouldn't be forcing people to be transparent if they don't want to, I would say. Then we have U.S. Senate Committee approves bipartisan marijuana banking bill, sending it to the floor from marijuanamoment.net by geeky username. And I guess that's good. I personally am against all this war on drugs, but, I do think marijuana is coming up to be legalized, and hopefully we'll get to the other drugs soon. And yeah, I personally don't think you should be doing drugs, but if you want to waste your way on an urban squalor doing drugs and dying on the street, I think you should be able to, as long as you're not being forced to do otherwise. Then we have Astra Taylor's Age of Insecurity. The activist and writer sees capitalism as an insecurity-producing machine, and that's from New Yorker. Chai2020, and yeah, I personally think humans are just naturally insecure. I don't think the system really has anything to do with it, I would say. Then we have Myths and Facts. Fox News spreads misinformation about Victor Shokin and Joe Biden from MediaMatters.org. Chai2020 across from the Murdoch subreddit. And I said, it's only misinformation when the outgroup does it. I linked to a tweet from Glenn Greenwald. He says, nobody spreads disinformation more destructively than U.S. corporate media. Those who said Saddam had WMDs, Putin blackmailed Trump with sex tapes, the Hunter laptop was Russian disinformation, have no credibility to accuse others of disinformation and conspiracy theories. The thing with Fox News is, it's corporate media as well. And you have to remember that. So, I personally think, it could be spreading lies, but you have to remember all corporate media spreads lies, and that's why we need free speech and citizen journalism and independent reporting. Then we have looting takes place in one of the few commercial districts left outside of Center City, Philadelphia. The people who live in the neighborhood, the ones who work and shop here, will be the ones hurt by these heinous acts. They will only continue the cycle of poverty. From LPPA on Twitter, and I posted that, and I said, agreed. If they really wanted change, they could easily go after government buildings, but instead it's more about material goods than anything else. If these guys want to justify violating that, I think they should be able to. With that being said, it's important to remember that NAP violations usually do result in punishment. I personally don't care for that state being the one doing it, though. I personally don't care for a lot of big businesses that were like Apple, Foot Locker, and state-owned liquor monopoly, but for if big businesses can't function, that also means small businesses can as well, and that's something I view as really important. We have to have we have to have people being able to function and not constantly not violation. If people want to violate an app, I think they should, if they want to try to do it, they should be able to do so. But that's why we need to have our Second Amendment and support self-defense against these NAP violators in case they try and get us as well, I would say. Then we have long history of Ukrainian groups glorifying Nazi collaborators from the CanadaFiles.com by Delufalou, and yeah, I would say that's probably correct. People, it kind of goes in this narrative right now because the Nazis are Ukrainians in vogue, and that includes Nazis like Azov and the guy they just killed at the Canadian Parliament. So that's important to remember how people say, oh, Nazis are the worst thing ever, except when the narrative says otherwise. Then we have freedom of speech equals freedom to spread disinformation from TechCrunch.com by Patan13, and I said, yes, lies are free speech. Also, they label anything that goes against the narrative as disinformation. It's like label anyone who dissents at all as a Nazi. Then we have Left Libertarians, How Do You Feel About Gun Rights? By Gulas99. And I personally am not more of a center libertarian, so I don't really have anything to say on that. But if you want to support, if you want to take people's guns away, I think that's the NAP violation. So I think everyone should have to be allowed to have as many guns as they want, as long as they're not violating the NAP. If they violate the NAP, then hopefully we'll find some sense of punishment for them. Because people who punch the NAP should probably be punished. Then we have drop your list of top 5 worst POTUS from LP Arizona, and I posted that, and I said, Woodrow Wilson, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, Abraham Lincoln, FDR. I got a bit of a vendetta against Taft as well for being Chief Justice for Rugby Bell, but that was after his presidency, to be fair. And I said Lincoln. A lot of people say, oh, Lincoln, come the fuck on. Lincoln was extremely authoritarian in the Civil War, regardless of how justified he thinks that authoritarianism was. Then we have Republican fiscal conservatives at work on nation's most pressing issues from Newsweek.com and by Clorox, and that's the story on how Republicans are pushing to protect chocolate milk sparks widespread mockery. And I said, give me chalky milk or give me death, Patrick Henry. A lot of cowboys up right now, seemingly. They want to force ranchers to chip all their cattle as well. I think if schools want to serve chalky milk, they should be able to. I personally did not drink milk in school if it was not chalky milk, so it's important to remember that milk consumption will go down if it's not served. And I think that might be it for... Let's see, we'll do a refresh here. I think that's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.